One of the many reasons Mr. Peter Obi cited when he was announcing his exit from the ADC, he said, of course, he alluded to the overbearing influence of, or destabilizing influence of the ruling APC. He also said there was deepening internal crisis within the ADC, toxicity within the political that was worsening in the ADC, factional battles, deep suspicion, and a growing lack of disunity within the same ADC. Are these reasons that he has given, are they cogent? Do they sound plausible to you?
Let me ask you, when you're bringing together different political parties, because we assume that most people who are in politics are there for the purpose of the country. You're in politics so that and you're in political parties so that you can contest election and participate in government, in reshaping the trajectory of the state. And now, the countries, the way we are, you ask from Peter Obi to Kwankwaso to everybody, they say, no, this is pathetic. Do you want to get it right? Yes. We have to come together to do it. Because you can see the effect of what people are doing. So it's clear that to come together is the best way. Is it easy to do that? No. And when you're having your views and you're having your views, but we've managed all that. I think we've managed all that. The ADC, which at times people say legacy ADC, we gave in almost everything. We gave everything. We sacrificed everything. I was the founding national chairman, and I've spent billions of naira building the party from 2005 to the present. And this is not the first time we tried to build a national coalition. If you remember, okay, in 2007, we presented part to Tommy because of the kind of values and the way we want to be perceived, the way we want to be seen. That's what ADC represented. Part to Tommy was our first presidential candidate. And after we finished that tour of Nigeria, it was clear to us for any of these for any of the small parties to make the impact we wanted and begin to change this country, there is the need to form coalition. So since 2007, we've invested time doing that. Then by 2020, we tried different things, trying to bring all the small political parties together. There was a time we almost succeeded, but and then we wanted to form, we're calling it mega party, that all the small parties to come together and have a mega party. At a point, some of the people that we are discussing with now took the name mega party to go and register a party called mega party. And the whole thing just, your people said, Dabaru. And we continued, we were undaunted because we were clear, this is the best way to go. Then in 2018, former President Obasanjo set up a coalition of political parties, civil societies, etc. They called it the Coalition for Nigerian Movement. And that people came together. That was during this, when the first term of Buhari was coming to an end. They came together and said, what we've seen of APC cannot do this country good. It's not just about the man Buhari. Buhari is a great man, a patriot, thinks right, integrity, but the type of people around him was woeful. And most of them were supplied by leaders. Then, like Jagoban, who was in Lagos and supplying all the money for the process and so on and so forth. And then now, so then, you know what happened? After President Obasanjo moved around, did his due diligence, it was ADC that coalition zeroed on. And the CNM, Coalition of Nigerian Movement, was dissolved into ADC by the man, President Obasanjo. He made a 1-hour national broadcast to say, this is the party to go if we want to build a new Nigeria. So, but unfortunately, that again didn't work. Then in 2000 22, 23, we tried something else, it didn't work. But by 2000 after 2023 election, and the way we saw things going from the first day, unthought of, unplanned of, so nothing anybody had had. The day that President Tinubu was being sworn in, he made it clear, he said, fuel subsidy gone. How do you run a state from the spur of the moment without thinking? When the institutions in Nigeria give you so much human resources to work with, so much human resources. Look at all the ministries, Ministry of Planning, Ministry of Establishment, all of them. You didn't allow yourself to be sworn in, and then just there, you took everybody. As a matter of fact, the economy almost collapsed because of that decision. And that was a dangerous signal. The first signal was the way the election was won. Wasn't good. And then this again, on the day of swearing, we saw this. Then we started consulting. That consultation is what culminated to everybody agreeing that, come, from what you're seeing, this man came in with his Lagos mentality. He's going to try to muzzle everybody and then build a one-party state, which we will see. National Assembly is in his hand. So we started working. And in the works, members of CPC and APC, they were involved, who said, after what they've seen in their party, no way. They are ready to identify with people who are more progressive-minded. Because, in APC, they say, all progressives, but that progressive is problematic. So the progressive-minded people said, they can't continue like that. They joined in this process. So APC, Labour Party, PDP, and all the some other political organizations decided to join. We started knitting it together. I will tell you, I could remember the ADC group that I was leading. I made it clear from the beginning, because even in 2018, when Baba brought his group, what I told them is that, come, I'm not here. The chairman is not what I want to be. We've created a party which we want to, for some good people to use to change this country. And that while they're doing that, they should just forget about me being chairman. We want to build something that everybody will get involved in, and all of us will decide on who the whole stakeholders will have confidence in to be chairman. So my mind was made up there. So when we started the negotiation, I told them the same thing, and they were surprised. I said, come, with all of you, let's come together and build something with which we can deliver this country. One of the biggest sacrifices I had to make, it's not about me stepping down from the position of chairman. We had wanted ADC, the original ADC, to have the position of the National Organizing Secretary. And I can tell you why. Why was it that we needed the position of the National Organizing Secretary? We wanted that person to still recognize the members of the old ADC that would be making the sacrifice, so that when they're organizing anything, when they are sending maybe a committee to any state to do something, they are remembering those people who stepped down for this thing to work and keeping them on assignment so that they don't feel left out. But when eventually the Labour Party team, led by Obi, said that the position they will want in the coalition, for them to be part of it, will be that of National Organizing Secretary. I felt somehow, because I think PDP had requested earlier that they have somebody who is well experienced to manage the organizing, and I said no. They dragged it. I said no, we won't let it go. Why we're not letting it go? Because what we did wasn't a transaction. We are sacrificing something for everybody to get involved, so that we can see how to salvage our country. And then, so when they came, I said, no, outrightly. And when I explained to the stakeholder, I said, we want to keep this because we don't want to keep the ADC people who will be relinquishing their position. We don't want to, we want to make sure that the person who is there is always picking them for an assignment so that they all feel a sense of belonging. Yeah. Because in politics, it's very easy to forget the people that have made the sacrifice. So when Peter will be my brother, now said that's the position they will want. They'll give them comfort. It was a big one for me. And then we are giving. So Peter personally brought the person that became the National Organizing Secretary. He brought the person himself from the Southeast. That's one about from Anambra. I'm from Anambra, Peter's from Anambra. We did that. Just concessions we had to make to ensure that this thing worked. I stepped down as national chairman. We stepped down almost 70% of the National Working Committee. I think we still have about 25% in the current National Working Committee. And just like today, when some members of the National Committee don't feel that it's like the new party leaders don't even remember them. And at times, they want to box me on the corner. Look at you. I said, calm down. We think we will get to government soon. And you repeat. So they're not getting it. And possibly, if the ADC still had the control of that, there are some things, some people that that became vulnerable, and the people in power poached them that we could have assigned to some functions and so on. But that is it. So everything was given to the critical stakeholders, the APC and CPC people. They got ACN people. They got the secretary. David Mark was not taken because he was PDP, but it was the general consensus. By them. Kwankwaso had not joined us. But Obi was there, Atiku was there, Amechi was there, and they thought, who can hold this thing together? Because it's very delicate. Yes. And they thought David Mark had the right leadership, his military discipline, and the fact that he understands the politics very well, and became Senate President. It's him. And then everybody voted for him. But even at that, when they were not being looked at, they still say it's PDP. So that the PDP had the chairman, then we insisted it. And I think he said that when we had agreed that there was going to be primaries to elect who becomes the chairman. And I can remember when we were approached that, please, let this National Organizing Secretary go to me, that they felt if there's going to be primary, they want to make sure that nobody is able to rig anybody out. So that was given to Obi. So we thought that everybody was well accommodated, and all the fear, the tendencies, we tried to straighten it out.
Okay, so look at this, detailed explanation you have given on how this new ADC, came to emergence, the trade-offs, the concessions, just to make sure all the contending parties are well taken care of, their interests are well taken care of. So I go back, when Mr. Peter Obi says, listed all these excuses as the reason why he leaves, obviously it does not hold water. But I want to dial back a little bit to history, because Kenneth Okonkwo...
No, but before then, let me make some more distinction. To Peter still, the ADC, we had a very big website that is even housed by Amazon. Very big, sophisticated. And in that website, we have members registration, the membership registration session there. And so it's already there, portal operating. But for purpose of what we are doing, for the transparency and so on, people now said, that we needed to set up a different portal because they didn't, that nobody would trust what was already on this old portal. And so that we needed to do new membership registration and revalidation. And that a new membership e-registration portal must be created. And for that, again, a Kashimi man who happened to be the chairman of that was trying to create new processes. Now I said, okay, put Aisha Yusufu to be the chairman, the e-registration, the chairman of the e-registration. Aisha Yusufu arranged the engineers that constructed that e-registration portal, did everything, and she was completely in charge. So you would say for somebody who is just like somebody who appointed the INEC chairman and then who is going to bring the list, the voters register, and so on so anyway, it's strange, but we did all of this to make sure that everybody, so that ADC wanted to do something differently. Because if we're building a coalition, and when you build coalition again, maybe overseas you might say, okay, who scored the last vote during the last election? You say, okay, maybe we should build this coalition around him. As far as Nigerian own result is concerned, Atiku Abubakar was second, but that was a largely disputed result. So we say, even if we don't want to work with that model, let's say we are going to do primaries. Whomever wins, go ahead. And we made sure that everybody was well accommodated to ensure that that was properly done.